everyone, and welcome back to Divine Phoenix. My name is Destiny, or you can call me the Princess of Shadows. And today's video is Witchcraft Basics. I'm going to be covering most of the basics of witchcraft, and this is the first video of that, as there is a lot for you to learn, so this series will be probably pretty long. Not this video, but I will be doing a couple of videos for this series. I decided that it is time to actually teach you guys rather than to do just a bunch of different other things. While most of you who come on here and watch me don't really know a lot about things, a lot about witchcraft, a lot about really anything, and just diving in and doing tarot readings is not really going to teach you thoroughly. So I am going to do that. Welcome to the Witchcraft Basics. The playlist that I am playing today is the Ultimate Indie Folk Playlist Volume 2 by Alex Rainbird Music. They're really good. They have a lot of really smooth stuff for the mornings. I really like it. It's soothing, it's calm, and it's perfect for my videos. Anyways, first thing we are going to talk about is the different paths of witchcraft. We have eclectic, solitary, traditional, Wicca, and paganism. Eclectic witchcraft is basically what I practice. I take a bunch of different practices, religions, spells, stuff from other religions such as hoodoo, Wicca, paganism, and I form it all into my own lifestyle. I don't do just one path, I do all of them and put them into my own lifestyle. So that is what eclectic witchcraft is. Solitary witchcraft is practicing witchcraft alone. You're not in a coven, you don't share with a lot of people, you really keep a lot of things to yourself. That's solitary witchcraft. Traditional witchcraft is just basic, low-key, traditional witchcraft. You practice a lot of common spells, a lot of common witchcraft, which may include paganism or Wicca. Wicca is more seen as a religion. There's a lot of deities involved, there's a lot of divination involved, there's a lot of research and spells and potions and stuff like that involved. That's Wicca. Paganism is above Wicca, so Wicca is the umbrella term of paganism. So paganism is that umbrella head, and Wicca is just that handle. So paganism is a bunch of other stuff as well. I don't really know how to explain it because I don't really practice a lot of it, but it's just higher than Wicca, and Wicca just falls down a little bit in a different, kind of like a different vibe. So whether your path is a religion or lifestyle is completely up to you, to whatever path that you choose. If you choose Wicca, it could be a religion because there's a lot of deities involved that you that are religious. One moment. Where are you heading?
Where?
Oh, see ya. You see?
What nonsense?
Anyways, so whether it's a religion or lifestyle is completely up to you. Wicca is mostly known as a religion because there's a lot of religious deities and spirits involved. There's a lot of practices, there's a lot of prayers involved, a lot of worshiping, so that counts as a religion. Whether paganism is a religion or not, it most likely is. Same reasons for Wicca. There's pagan prayers, there's pagan spells, there's pagan worships, there's religious deities involved as well. It's completely up to you. If you're the one who does a lot of prayers and you do prayers to that deity or prayers to that god or goddess or whichever you choose, then it's completely up to you whether you want it to be a religion. For me, there are a couple goddesses, a few goddesses, and a few gods that I worship and that I encounter into my craft, but I don't label my religion or my lifestyle as a religion. I mean, some people are like, oh, that's your religion. Or sometimes I'll be like, well, because of my religion. Because it's, I guess it's a habit. I come from a Christian home. I was born and raised as a Christian, but so I guess it just becomes a habit of calling it a religion. But I don't really count it as a religion. I say it's my lifestyle. It's who I am. It's what I've become. It's how I grow. All that jazz. But it's completely up to you whether or not you want it to be a religion or lifestyle. Don't let other people argue with what your path is, because it's your path. Whatever you choose to do with your life is whatever you choose to do with your life, you know? So other people being like, no, that's a religion. You're like, no, it's my lifestyle. And if they continue to argue, what do they know? Don't let them bring you down, okay? Because they're not in your shoes, they're not in your life, they have a different view of it because they're not into it. Or maybe they are into it and they know a lot about that subject and they're saying, oh, it's a religion. It's still up to you. How you practice your path, how you craft your path is completely up to you. Witchcraft is not a hobby, it's a lifestyle. You are always studying, you're always practicing, you're always just doing it. Every day you put it into your life, and you don't have to do it every day. You can take a break if it's most needed, but it is something that becomes a part of your life. It's not just a hobby like painting. It's not just a hobby like singing, like cooking. It's not a hobby. It's an everyday thing. If you've grown up with it, then you're hereditary. Then you're a natural born witch. I cannot pronounce that word for some reason, but if you were born in that that religion or that lifestyle of witchcraft, then you are a hereditary witch. There we go, hereditary. You're a natural born witch. That's your life. Whether or not you choose to keep with it is up to you. If you feel really magical, then you can continue with it. If you don't, then it's okay. Like, your folks shouldn't judge you. You should go with whatever you feel. And if they are witches, then they would know. Go with what you feel to do. So, it's not a hobby. It's not just something you do for fun. It's a very serious matter. Witchcraft is very, very serious. It's not fun and games. It's not joking around, because there's a lot of dangers involved. There's spirits, there's demons, there's a spell can go wrong, very wrong. Divination may not always turn out the best that you hoped, and it can put a bad influence on you. So it just take a lot of precautions. There's a lot of dangers involved in witchcraft. It's not a hobby. Don't do it for fun. If you're into it, you're into it. If not, leave it alone, because it's not something to be fooling around with. Let's talk about my path. My path, so I explained that I'm an eclectic witch, and I practice a lot of eclectic witchcraft. I practice a lot of different witchcraft, different forms, different practices, different divination methods. I'm very materialistic. If you guys haven't seen my altar, I love jewelry, I love items, I love things. I'm very, very, very materialistic. But that is kind of a flaw, because it can drain out your money pretty quickly. Sage, not a problem. You can get sage for a decent price. You can even make it your own. You can create your own sage and make your own sage. Excuse me. But I love incense. I love Palo Santo. I love sage. I cleanse my altar almost every day with sage. I try to do my bed every day, but my boyfriend can't really handle the smoke. So, obviously there's that flaw. But I'm very, very materialistic. I like little gadgets like this for my incense. I love the cones, and this, I thought it was really, really cute. I had to get it. and that's where the cone goes into, which that one's actually done now. I have this incense holder. It's a dragon. You can't really tell it's a dragon because it's turned the other way, but I don't want to drop any of the ashes. And of course I love crystals. I have a jar up there. I don't want to get it down because it will be very hard to put it back up. I have a very certain way of having my things on my altar space, but my jar is up there and it's full of crystals. I love crystals. Every day I go to Common Sense and I check out what new things they have. Well, not every day, almost every day. Often, I'll say often. Often I go to Common Sense, check out the crystals that they have, and I'll get a couple here and there. I love getting their incense because, especially this one, it's a pagan smell incense, which is the one I have burning right now. It smells more like a cleaning product or perfume, but it's a really good smell. And stuff like that. So, aside from me being very materialistic, I am also very intuitive. I tend to know things before it happens, like most witches do, and I can already assume. Sometimes I'm just like oblivious to a lot of things, but when I really want to know something, I know something, if that makes sense. I do a lot of divination, and divination can help with your intuitive system. I'm just going to turn this down a bit. So I do a lot of divination. I love divination. I love all forms of it. I do tarot, I do ceromancy, I try smoke scrying. I want to try the Black Mirror scrying, basically because it shows you things. You can't look at yourself in it, but it does show you certain things if you pay close attention. I really want to try that one. Divination with crystals, divination with my pendulum, divination with my spell board, all sorts of that. Spells. I love spells. I love crafting my own spells. I actually just got another journal for my own spells, personal spells, along with other people's spells that I love trying out. Crafting my own spells is probably the most fun thing that I love doing. Aside from that, I'm always studying and learning and doing a whole lot more to better myself in witchcraft. And even when you're more experienced, even when you're older, like say you're 50 and you've been doing it for like 40, you've been doing it for like 20 years, okay? Say you're 50 and you've been doing it for 20 years and you feel like you're experienced. You're not. You may be more knowledgeable than what you were 20 years ago, but you're not experienced. Not even until the day you die, you won't know everything, because there's so much about witchcraft in the world that you need to learn and know, and you will never be 100% experienced. You will not be an expert. You will not know everything, because there's so much more to learn. Going back to the ancient times, and there's probably stuff that hasn't even been revealed yet. So you're not always gonna be 100% an expert, no matter how old you are. You're still learning, you're still studying. Even if you are very, very, very great with your psychic abilities, and you make a living out of that, you're still gonna be learning and studying different ways. So there's that. Let's talk about coming out of the broom closet. There's a lot of people who are terrified of coming out with their witchcraft, saying that they're a witch or a Wiccan or whatever path that they have. Coming out is hard. If you have judgmental parents, then you know it's going to be really, really hard to explain to them what you do. If you have become Wiccan and you were raised with Christian folks, that's going to be extremely hard. It was very hard for me to talk to my grandma about this because she is Christian, like beyond Christian. She is very into God, and I just never really had that connection. And like, some part of me thinks that I'm still Christian, but I think it's just the joy, the vibe that I get when I go to church. 'Cause sometimes I still go to church, but I think it's just the vibe, the feeling, the joy that I feel. Just I don't have a connection with God. Not to be mean, and this is completely honest, it's just I don't have that connection. I don't think I ever did. And I've never believed in the devil, so there's that. I've never believed in the devil. And I was told, well, if you believe in God, you have to believe in the devil. But I'm like, well, I don't believe in the devil. I don't think there is a thing. I know that there's a higher power, but I don't believe that there's a devil. But coming out is going to be very hard. And so you might want to be just solitary witch for a little bit, and that's fine. But when you do finally come out and it goes wrong, who cares? Your life is your life, okay? No one can change that. That's all I can say. I just winged it, and I was just like, I'm a witch. And my mom was like, what? I'm like, I practice witchcraft. And she's like, oh. And my mom, she's not, like, she says she's Christian, but she doesn't go to church or anything like that. So, she does her, and that's fine. But she believes a lot of this stuff. And I found out by her that my cousin Wendy, the one who passed away probably I think a year or so back, she was Wicca. And then her daughter, she is Wicca. And I was like, well, how far does this go? So I talked to my grandma about it, and it goes all the way back up to our German line. I'm like, okay, well then that must explain why I feel the way I do. Why I want to be into witchcraft so badly. Why I've always questioned about God's existence. Why I've always believed that there's a higher power but never believed in the devil. This might be my explanation, is because our family originates from German witches, and I feel that connection. So, some people just feel really magical and they really want to be a witch. It's more than just that. You have to read up a lot. You can't just dive into anything. You have to get yourself a journal, you have to get yourself a pen, and you have to get yourself access to internet or old library books about history of witches. The first thing you should research is history of witches. And then from there on, you're studying everything. So, coming out is very hard. It is. Next, intuition is tricky because you can feel like you already knew that. Like, something happened at school, you're like, oh my gosh, I totally knew that. But it's delayed. A delayed no. Like, you're like, oh, I assumed that, but you didn't act on it. If that makes sense. Intuition is very tricky. Something to help intuition is, of course, tarot, pendulum, meditation. Meditation is essential for witchcraft because it helps you with your intuition, and it helps you ground yourself a lot, and it helps you become more, not vulnerable, but more knowledgeable, if that makes sense. So meditation is essential. Divination is optional, but almost every witch needs it, or uses it. Divination helps you become more intuitive, and it helps you answer the questions that you want to answer. That is one of the reasons why most people turn to witchcraft, because they don't want to wait for a god to answer their prayers. They want them answered themselves. They want to find out the answer for themselves. Which is one of the reasons why I practice my tarot, is because I always have questions and I'm always curious. So I ask my cards, or I ask Rose, my pendulum, and I get my answers. And sometimes I don't like the answer, but that's okay. I learn from it, and I try to make the best of it. So intuition is very tricky. Meditation is essential. Divination is optional. And finally, to conclude our video, go with what you feel and learn, research, ask questions, etc. Go with what you feel. Whatever path that you are drawn to, do that. Do that. whatever you are most comfortable with, do it. There is no limit for witchcraft. You don't have to have just one path. If you're like me and can't stick to just one thing, then you can pick from all the different things and practice them all. There's no limit. There's no limit for learning. There's no limit for practicing witchcraft or learning witchcraft. You learn as much as you want to learn. And with that, you research as much as you want. And asking questions is very, very good. If you have any questions that you want to ask me, I will try my best and answer. And if I can't find the answer or if I don't have the answer, I will find it for you. So go ahead and message me and ask me anything that you want. And everything is confidential, I swear to you. Everything is between you and me. You guys talk to me one-on-one. I don't share any information with other people. It's just us. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that this helped you with a lot of the witchcraft basics. And I will try my very best tomorrow or Sunday to do another video. If I don't do it tomorrow at the same time, I will do it Sunday. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a fabulous, wonderful day. Blessed be.